The president has taunted plenty of people on Twitter before, but today he may have entered new territory, targeting Russia. Early this morning, Trump tweeted, "Russia vows to shoot down any and all missiles fired at Syria. Get ready, Russia, because they will be coming, nice and new and smart. You shouldn't be partners with a gas-killing animal who kills his people and enjoys it." Gas-killing animal, of course, he's referring to would be Bashar al-Assad, who's suspected of attacking his own people with chemical weapons again. But wait, there's more Trump than added. Our relationship with Russia is worse now than it has ever been, and that includes the Cold War, and much of the bad blood with Russia is caused by the fake and corrupt Russia investigation headed by the all-Democratic loyalists. Mueller is most conflicted of all, except Rosenstein, who signed FISA and Comey letter, no collusion, so they go crazy. Crazy indeed. Now CNN is reporting Trump's considering firing Rod Rosenstein, the #2 man of the Justice Department, and the special counsel's supervisor, who reportedly signed off on the FBI raid of attorney Michael Cohen's home and office and hotel room. As for Mueller,
does the president believe he has the power to fire special counsel Robert Mueller? Does he believe that's within his power?
Certainly believes he has the power to do so. We've been advised that the president certainly has the power to make that decision.
While experts disagree and say he has to get someone in the Justice Department to do it, this outside chance is suddenly looking a lot more possible, prompting a bipartisan group of some senators to introduce a bill that would give Mueller extra protection. I'm joined now by Jennifer Nassour. Jennifer's former chair of the Massachusetts Republican Party and founder of Conservative Women for a Better Future. Hey there, Jennifer. Hello. Jesse Marmel's former communications director for Governor Deval Patrick. Good to see you, too. You know, the only thing that is more troubling to me, and I mean this in the least partisan of ways, than the president firing the special counsel, a la Richard Nixon, is that he fires the special counsel, and maybe Rod Rosenstein, and the majority of Republicans in Congress do absolutely nothing about it. Are my fears well-founded, do you think, Jennifer?
So, let's go back to what Sarah Sanders said. So, does he have the power to do it? Yes, he has the power to fire and hire whoever he wants to.
Well, it's not clear, but let's assume he does, for argument's sake.
Let's assume he does. Is it right or wrong? Is the appearance wrong? Yes, absolutely. And I think that if he does that, the Republicans might start, I think you have to wait. You can't just start and jump forward and say, oh, well, he shouldn't do this, he shouldn't do that. Because there is a separation of powers, and we have to actually allow for that to happen. We have to allow the president to make his decision. If he fires Mueller, though, then they do have to act.
So is Cohen was that the red line crossing thing that apparently has the president out of his mind in the White House, according to reports?
Yeah, well, certainly all reports indicate that this has really, put the thumb on the scale of Trump going, I think, even more intensely into his reactionary phase than he had been before. But to answer your previous question, I think your concerns are well-founded, because we've seen time and time again since candidate Trump hit the scene that the Republicans will draw a line in the sand about whatever is inappropriate or wrong or immoral, and then Trump crosses the line and they go right along with him. We've seen it over and over again, and I fear that it may happen in this instance if he does indeed fire Mueller or Rosenstein.
I think that's supported by the notion there have been very few Republicans, for example, in the Senate, who have said Mueller should stay. Here are three of them, just three of them. Here they are.
I think it would be suicide for the president to fire him. I think the less the president says about this whole thing, the better off he will be.
That would be a mistake. I think the best thing for the president and for the country is that Mueller be allowed to finish his work.
The special counsel has to be allowed to do his job. We've got to let the process complete.
I don't understand. Even if you're a big Trump fan, why doesn't everybody say this is what democracy demands, and let the chips fall where they may?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that he is committing political suicide. Not only is he
being the president.
He being the president commits political suicide, but not only that, he also kills the Republican Party and any chances we have in the midterms.
But doesn't he
He's
also
doing a pretty good job of that already?
Well,
but wait a
second. If he fires them,
if
we're done.
Democrats have to start talking impeachment, assuming we go down this road, that's not so good for the Democrats either. If people as prominent as David Axelrod are saying, let's not talk the I word, voters don't want to hear another, Clinton redux.
And I agree with David Axelrod. I think there are two ways to talk about impeachment. I think there's internally talking about impeachment and how, if Democrats gain control after November, they might proceed in that process if an investigation leads to circumstances that would warrant pursuing the road of impeachment. I think talking about it externally in an electoral sense Axelrod is right, is a mistake.
A la Tom Steyer, the billionaire, and all those endless commercials on CNN. So that would be an involuntary departure. Here's a voluntary one, theoretically. Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan.
Today, I am announcing that this year will be my last one as a member of the House. To be clear, I am not resigning. I will be retiring in January, leaving this majority in good hands with what I believe is a very bright future.
I know you know this as a big-time Republican. This is 40-plus Republicans in the House of Representatives are running towards the exit door. I don't know if that's a record number. Look at the look on your face. But I mean, that is really, I'm sure they're not all going home to spend more time with their family, right?
Well, I mean, everyone has a different reason for
40.
doing it. Maybe you could start making some money. I mean, I understand.
Maybe you won't get reelected.
Maybe you don't get reelected. But, I mean, I think there are ample opportunities right now. There's a Republican administration, and hopefully Republicans still stay in office, according to me. And, and then there are more opportunities for these members of Congress to go out and actually build businesses and build their next stage of their careers. You don't know why someone decides not to run. You can't say it's because something is a disaster or they're concerned or they're not going to get reelected, because it's not necessarily the case. But they've been working hard, and they've been taking a lot of incoming ammunition over the past year and a half.
So we do know, we do know that Paul Ryan will not be the Speaker come January of next year, even if the Republicans maintain their majority. We do think we know that if the Democrats take over the majority, that Nancy Pelosi will become the Speaker again. And there are a lot of Democrats, forget Republicans, a lot of Democrats who think that's a really bad idea. Even those who say there wouldn't have been an Affordable Care Act with her. She was fabulous on Iraq, but they think she is essentially suppressing those young emerging leaders the Democratic Party needs. Which side are you on that?
I am quite genuinely undecided. I have an incredible amount of respect for Nancy Pelosi, one, as a woman who fought to get into her position at a time when that was not necessarily a popular path for women, particularly women who are moms of several children. Mm-hmm. And what you just mentioned about Iraq and health care reform, she is truly a leader who deserves immense credit there.
And a prodigious fundraiser for Democrats, I should mention.
A prodigious fundraiser, for sure. But I do think that there are some voices that need to emerge in the Democratic Party. I'm hopeful that there is a way for Nancy Pelosi to remain Speaker and find room for those voices to move into leadership positions.
But if I can, I know this is going to sound ageist, so you can start sending me email right now if you want. Do you know who the likely successor is? At least the guy campaigning to replace her? She's 78. Yeah. 78-year-old Steny Hoyer is quietly campaigning to replace her. This is not about older people. This is about creating room, and there's no room for these young people, is there?
It's so funny. On the way over here, I was reading a new Boston Magazine piece about Generation X in Boston and how the baby boomers aren't moving on. And so a lot of Gen Xers are leaving Boston looking to find new opportunities to lead because there isn't turnover.
What's a variation on a theme?
I was just going to say, I don't think this is only a political problem. I think this is a society-wide problem. Folks are staying healthy as they age, and it's affecting every single industry.
Are we all sexist dogs who think Nancy Pelosi should step down and create room for...
I think there are certainly some sexist dogs in that mix, but I don't think I'd put anyone at this table in that category.
Republicans are going to use Pelosi as...
I have to say, give me more Nancy Pelosi. This is awesome. Solve our problem for the midterm elections and talk more about Nancy Pelosi.
Well, by the way, the Republicans southwestern Pennsylvania use Nancy Pelosi, and I believe the Democrat is still the congressman.
But remember, there's a whole to say that Nancy Pelosi is going to solve all of your problems this November. I think your problems far exceed the line of Nancy Pelosi. If we put her on some fundraising pieces and sent it out to Middle America, anything outside of the East Coast and the West Coast, not only would we raise a tremendous amount of money, but we wouldn't lose any single seat between the hasn't coasts. That been true of every single speaker, regardless of party, since time immemorial?
I don't think
the speaker becomes villainized if they're there long enough. I don't think this is a unique Nancy Pelosi thing.
I think
this is about being a leader of a party. I think this is about being partisan and being the speaker, and anyone would have that problem.
Okay, I got a hold right there.
Let's do something else. Paul Ryan decided that he wanted to not seek re-election, and he's leaving voluntarily. And I think that is the type of leadership that we need. We need leaders that say it's time for us to leave, and not leaders that say my time was over and I want to come back.
Leadership. I would characterize that as deep pessimism about his fate after November.
Is
this your show?
Well, not really. Only because these are my favorite moments of the whole week, and I don't want to miss them. Here are members of the United States Senate attempting to question the leader of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. Listen up.
Is it an alternative to Facebook in the private sector?
Yes, Senator. The average American uses 8 different apps to communicate with their friends and stay in touch with people, ranging from texting apps to email.
It's the same service you provide.
Well, we provide a number of different services.
Is Twitter the same as what you do?
Well, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
Senator, we run ads. Just quickly, I was incredulous about how ill-prepared most Republicans and Democrats were to participate in this. 15 seconds, Jesse.
Horrified but not incredulous, and refer back to previous conversation about the need for generational shifting.
Amen. So glad you said it. How about you?
Exactly. I mean, if you want to see a reason for term limits and for turnover, that's a perfect ad for all of us.
Is Twitter the same as Facebook? Nice to see you,
What are you
Jennifer.
running for, Jennifer?
Jesse, good to see you. Thanks so much to both of you.